I think the question on every Lenny's reader's lips is, do you consider yourself a feminist?
Yes, absolutely.
Oh boy.
You know, I'm always a little bit puzzled when any woman of whatever age, but particularly a young woman, says something like, and you've heard it, something like, well, I believe in equal rights, but I'm not a feminist.
Turns out you're sitting right across from a very convincing reason why a young lady might say, I believe in equal rights, but I am not a feminist. Yeah. That. If you're unfamiliar, that's Lena Dunham, creator, writer, and star of the HBO series Girls. Ms. Dunham has been on the stump for Hillary Clinton's campaign in Iowa and New Hampshire leading up to the caucus and the primary. Ms. Dunham is enthusiastic in her support of Hillary Clinton's campaign. That's great. She is also a fervent feminist. That's great too if your definition of feminism is gender equality.
A feminist is by definition someone who believes in equal rights.
If you wonder why a young lady might shy away from making that statement, Miss Clinton, it is because the basic principle of gender equality that you're describing is being lost in the noise of nonsense that the Lena Dunhams of the world provide. Specifically, this gem this week.
The way that Hillary Clinton's been talked about in the media is so gendered and rabidly sexist in every single portrayal. The adjectives, whether it's the attacks on her personal life or the adjectives that are used to describe her clothing, we have to do a full re-examination. Like, I literally want to make a list that we hand to media outlets that says, like, these are the words you can't use when describing a female candidate. Shrill, inaccessible, difficult, frumpy, plastic. I mean, there's just a list of words that if we were allowed to talk about male candidates like that, I'd have a fucking field day.
Right? Like, how could any young lady find that questionable in any way? Before we break this down, I just want to say that I am legitimately impressed that a person could fit so much nonsense into one 45-second clip. So I acknowledge that achievement. Let's go piece by piece. To Lena's first point, that the adjectives used to describe Hillary Clinton are sexist or gender biased. Is it really the case that Hillary Clinton or female candidates in general are criticized for flaws for which their male counterparts are not criticized?
Whether it's the attacks on her personal life.
Well, if we're getting personal, how about Chris Christie is a fat fuck?
I like Chris Christie a lot. I want him to run. I just want him to lose weight. I worry about this man dying in office.
Shrill.
How about Donald Trump is loud?
Inaccessible.
How about Jeb Bush is aloof?
Difficult.
How about Ted Cruz is an awful, terrible jerk?
Grumpy.
How about Bernie Sanders is a grumpy grandpa?
Plastic.
How about Mitt Romney is, well, plastic?
If we were allowed to talk about male candidates like that, I'd have a fucking field day.
If we were allowed, what's stopping you? Today's your field day if you want it. That's the beauty of our democratic system that values free speech. I could say Hillary would make a great president. Or I could say she's a stupid fake bitch with an old dried up and a face that not even America's Biggest Womanizer could love. Even if I grant you the premise that there's some kind of weird mystery rule that stops your field day, you're saying if it weren't for that rule, you'd behave in exactly the way that you condemn others for. First, you ask how could the media treat a person so unfairly, and then you turn around and say I'd jump at the opportunity to do it too if only it was a social norm.
You guys are scum.
But if given the opportunity, I would love to be scum with you. But let's take a step back, Lena, and I will grant you for the sake of argument that the criticisms against Hillary have been uniquely sexist and uniquely unfair. Your solution is a list of words that the media should be forbidden from using when covering Hillary or other female candidates. I need you to explain how this situation,
The following words are banned when describing Hillary. Difficult, frumpy, plastic.
is any different from this situation. The following words are banned when describing our supreme leader. Chubby, childish, self-writing punchline. Or this situation. The following words are banned when describing our Prophet Muhammad. Violent, intolerant, not real. Also, frumpy. See, what matters here, Lena, is not whether the words in question are sexist. What matters is whether the words in question are true. Let's remember that Hillary Clinton is running for president of the United States, the job that should be the single most difficult to attain because it is the single most powerful in the world. A candidate for that office should have his or her every word, his or her every action, his or her everything scrutinized to the maximum extent. extent. Because scrutiny and criticism are a necessary barrier of entry into the Oval Office, criticizing a female candidate for president is gender equality in exactly the way Hillary was describing when you nodded in agreement with your shit-eating grin. Silencing or suppressing criticism of female candidates for president does not promote equality. Silencing or suppressing that criticism only makes sense if you believe women are inferior in the first place and therefore need special treatment. Equality means taking the heat as well as the perks. Thanks as always for listening and for supporting this channel. Always appreciate the thoughtful discussion down below, and especially over on Twitter, that is at skag_3. You're always welcome to come hang out and chat in my live stream. That's linked down in the description. Looking forward to it. Okay, bye.